So it's been a long time since I've done a vlog about what it is that I'm doing with this YouTube channel, with the dating and the daily approach courses that we run here in Warsaw every 3 months, and you know, just generally kind of refresh and reset actually in terms of this offering, this kind of knowledge, and give you a kind of a proper introduction if this is the first time that you've stumbled onto this channel, for example. I kind of feel inspired to do this because we had a summer course and it's just a few weeks since it's finished, and we were sitting around on Sunday afternoon last week, and I was in the company of Tim and 4 guys who'd done the summer course, from Canada, from America, 2 from the United Kingdom, and just kind of spitballing, shooting the breeze, and looking around the table. These were all just straightforward regular guys, often most of them in their, I think all of them in their late 30s and 40s, who clearly just wanted to get their dating life sorted, were finding it particularly difficult in the UK and North America, and had come all this way to Warsaw for a course in order to kind of get to grips with it. And it just kind of made me realise that what I am kind of offering, the particular journey that I'm on, is really pretty simple. It's not some sort of like religious, I'm not some sort of religious evangelical character who wants to produce content, anti-feminism content, anti-LGBTQRS content, who wants to soapbox, who wants to do with YouTube what a lot of people like to do with YouTube, is to appeal to your prejudices, so you can kind of feel good about yourself. I can't think of anything less productive than watching material that just panders to your own prejudices. And let's be honest, my friend, everybody has these prejudices, just as you have an idea about the way that the West is feminized, and you love to chat and talk and grind your axes about it. So the LGBTQX wokey lot, they like to do the same thing. They sit around, I don't know, what do the wokey lot drink? Non-alcoholic cocktails, I guess. Anyway, perhaps that's just what I'm doing, is illustrating my own prejudices about the wokey LGBTQRST lot. But you get my point. This isn't about that. This is just simple dating skills, so that you can just kind of get on with your life having acquired some basic dating skills. And this is all this channel is. And this is all really my books are about, and the coaching is about. It's like the idea of an old-fashioned Swiss finishing school, you know, a school for gentlemen, or a school for scoundrels, whatever, you know, whatever your particular point of view is.
Clumsy idiots!
Fellow sufferers, are you anything like this? Clumsy and gormless? The kind who is always putting his foot in it?
Sure you wouldn't like that handicap?
Or are you anything like this? Smooth and smart and smoochy?
What I love about this film is the character, you know, starts off a naive, innocent, slightly hopeless, but very kind of nice guy. And it's not getting him all the way. Because his participation in the school for scoundrels, acquiring the knowledge and then applying it, ends up changing his life, and he gets the girl that he wants. He then lets it all go. Him turning his back on the teachers from the school from scoundrels and going his own way. having been through a rite of passage.
Unfortunately, sir, it's now 9:15 and tables aren't held beyond the book time.
Here is a new lowdown on the cunning craft of getting your own back.
Oh, I say, bad luck. New paintwork, too.
We can do the same for you. We can teach you how to woo a woman the proper way, or how to be stripped of your inhibitions.
Oh, free.
Yes,
And if you've money to spend, we can clue you up on old crocs and smart crooks.
how about spares?
Spares? You never need them, my man. Never, never. And when you drive her, you know she's there. And then you take that gearbox. You get the coarse rasp as you change down, and then there's the familiar deep-throated grind as you move away.
What are you asking for her?
Dirt cheap. A sacrifice, sir.
But at heart, it's just, acknowledging that there are things to be learned as a man, yeah? And that life isn't just about wearing what you want to wear, doing what you want to do, being myself. It is actually a progress of self-development, which is a bit of an ironic thing, actually, because the just to get slightly philosophical here, the thing is, self-development is not about adding things to yourself. It's actually about removing the impediments and the ideas about yourself and lifestyle. Haven't you noticed that? Anybody who's been on this journey for a while, I'm sure will acknowledge that it's you're realizing that you've got these wrong ideas, and you're using these skills, as I'm often fond of using this analogy, as a thorn to remove the thorn. Once you've got a toolbox of skills that you're going to pick up and practice in the area of dating and daytime approach, and then once they've served their purpose, you discard them, just as you discard the thorn once you've used it to remove the thorn. The thorn that you're removing is the thorn of wrong thinking that has held you back from kind of a full expression, manifestation of your manhood in a dating context. So the course was really interesting because all those guys have actually come back to Warsaw again. One guy was telling me that 2 of the numbers that he got on the course, he actually had dates last weekend with them, which is a lot more than I've achieved the first time I ever did one of these courses. And they're just like feel as if they've arrived in a civilized country, a civilized capital, long may it last, where women are women and men are men, and women respond to you learning, knowing and practicing the dating moves. Now that doesn't mean manipulating women. It means being the sort of guy that a woman wants around in her life, because you're socially and emotionally intelligent, and you own your masculinity just as she's owning her own femininity. And that was just sort of patently clear to me. It was interesting to hear the different stories from different guys about the troubles they'd had back home in their respective countries. In terms of what really should be really quite straightforward and quite simple, learning how to approach a girl, learning how to chat a girl up, flirt, open up a conversation, learning how to dress, actually, how to put your best foot forward in terms of how you present yourself to the world, learning about dating, critically learning about how to be non-reactive and chilled and patient when it comes to the mind the gap, the the gaps in between dates, managing relationship. It's not just done when you've got a number, and it's not just done when you've had a successful date. You've got to manage your own vibe. Actually, that's the key critical thing during the gaps in between the dates, of course. And me and Tim Powers are doing a series on all of that on the channel too. So it's really quite straightforward and simple stuff what we're teaching here. I will just use this as an upsell to plug the courses. The last course especially, the numbers were good. There was a coach to 2 guys, all 3 of us, me, John Matrix and Tim Powers, were running the course. Please, yeah, and so that was having not only 2 really great guys whose hearts are in the right place, who are living here, who are committed to developing guys and have acquired themselves skills themselves and practicing the skills themselves. Most of all, that we've now done this course a few times and we know how to run it properly. And I sort of step in an overarching role, come in where it's needed, and also meet with one-to-one consultations with the guys to make sure that they go forward after the courses and not just a flash in the pan, which is the big danger, particularly for the youngsters. They love to sign up to a course and they haven't thought ahead of the course how it is they're going to kick on after the course. So for example, that Sunday conversation that I spoke about, every couple of weeks we meet on a Sunday afternoon, or I turn up at a funky warehouse development bar complex in Warsaw. It's been a glorious summer actually. We've had a bunch of these meetings, and anybody who's done the course, who's on the Telegram group, gets to can drop in. And it's like, I've got guys who approach me and want to meet for coffee and so on and so forth, and I'm like, you know what, you can only slice me so thin, my friend. I can't give the world lots of free advice. I just don't have time. I'd be impoverished if I did that and answer every email. At least buy a book. But once you've done a course, the relationship between us as coaches and the students sort of changes, and then I really want to help these guys. I really want to keep these Sunday afternoon meetups going. I want to make sure that the guys are kicked on. Sure, they're going to have to pay for stuff. They want some more private coaching, or they want another private consultation, they're going to have to pay for it. But I don't know why, perhaps there's something particularly English, and so we're so embarrassed about paying for things. I mean, I had for example, I'm learning golf. It's been really interesting, and I'm going to be vlogging about it because there's so many parallels with dating, the dating skills, acquiring dating skills. And I've just finished a block of 10 lessons. I'm old and ugly enough now to know that if you're going to be good at something, you've got to put in the work, and you've got to find someone good, and you've got to pay the money. You get what you pay for. And I did video of my golf at the end of the 10 sessions to show the coach. And I put a couple of hundred zlotys into the envelope, presented it nicely to her, thanked her, bought her a cake because she likes cakes, and said, I'd love it if you could find some time to look at this. She was like, oh no, why? You're not giving me a cake and paying. I don't need to be paying. And I was like, you know what, Kasia, yes, you do, because you deserve it. You've given me some really excellent advice. You've really improved or got me going in golf. And you know what, also, to be honest with you, I want to make sure that you do a proper job. And yesterday we had a long conversation, having watched the video, and closed off a period of 10 lessons, sort of introductory 10 lessons to mastering the art of golf. And I knew that, why is it that guys skimp and save and think they're going to get something, think they can just kind of, what's the word, ride roughshod on the motorbike of love and just kind of get all this knowledge for free? It doesn't work like that. There's something about putting your hand in your pocket and putting money down that makes you accountable and makes you committed, and also engenders it actually then holds us to account, because we all feel conscientious and responsible and that we've got to help guys because they've paid us good money. I say good money. I learned that our course is half of what James, good old James Tusk, is offering, for example, at the moment. But you don't need to pay an arm and a leg for quality, but you do need to pay and you do need to commit. It was really interesting. I had a guy from a previous course, one of the first I think, and who's now living here, and we all went out for dinner, and I tend to, you know, get my card out, and he stepped in. He said, no, this is on me. I'm thankful, and it's great we can meet up on a routine, regular basis. And I was touched that someone had bothered to think that, you know, Alex is the one who gets his wallet out at these functions when members of the, you know, previous courses meet up. And then I thought about him and thought about his success, and actually he's absolutely transformed himself in so many different ways. I'm really kind of proud of the guys who've done these courses, who've committed, and most importantly have then kicked on afterwards and gone on to perhaps transform their lives is too big is an exaggeration, but it does feel as if there has been some transformation, maybe not totally transformed their lives, but certainly begun a process of, you know, a real kind of awakening and ability and skills in learning how to be good around women, to be relaxed around women, to be flirtatious, to be owning their own sexuality, masculine sexuality around women, and allowing women to shine. You know, we're like the sun, aren't we? And they're the sunflower. Or we're like the bee and they're the flower. We do the busy stuff, and they just bask in the sunshine and give us the honey. All right, so I'm now going to, I just wanted to mention that one of the guys has done a review, his really lovely review of the course, and I'm going to send that round in a group email. Do subscribe to the mail-outs, the email mail-outs, by emailing me at the usual address, alex.streetstories@gmail.com, if you want to be added. If you want to make changes in this area of your life, you know, grit your teeth, bite the bullet, get a wad of cash together, and you will discover that then the universe kind of comes to meet you. You get on an aeroplane and get your asses over here and strap on your balls, you bastards. Okay, so just by way of teaser, I'm going to do a few videos to sort of make sure I've covered everything in terms of sort of laying out my stall. In terms of not I've done that in terms of courses, but I mean my story, my views of the world, from the point of view of the world of the feminine, let's call it that. I'm going to do a whole video on age, because it's absolutely fascinating to me why that guys have a big problem with this. Actually, I still have a problem with it. I still have the voice in my head, yeah. But like yesterday, I went on a date, not daytime approach. This was actually Tinder, which I've subcontracted out the swiping to a girl, a friend, and I had a date yesterday, and I was like 27-year-old Belarusian. I was just like sitting there. I'm quite good at dates these days. It was just a lunchtime date. Wow, just glorious date, and it was quite funny at the end. She was quite a little bit nervous, and I, kissed, but just momentarily. The most important thing was that what happened during the date itself, actually, in terms of just occasionally spiking, touching, making sure that you're communicating that you're genuinely romantically interested in the person who sat in front of you. It's not just a friendly thing, which is, obviously the big trap. And it just made me cast my eye across the years and realise that I've learned a lot. I'm not comfortable on dates like, water off the duck's back, I know how to do this. I'm always nervous, but in the way like you're nervous when you go on stage, and that feeling, particularly in front of an attractive girl like the girl yesterday, and that feeling, teases out of me, provokes me into kind of rising to the challenge of handling a date well, making a real proper connection with a girl. I'm interested in relationship, as you know, but I am not going to kind of compromise and not settle, and not kind of be too focused on that, getting hitched, because I'd like to get married. Where my focus is, and this really is sort of my mission statement, is just simply to become better and better and better and better at dating, opening up conversations at these skills, the dating dance. That's the focus. It's a bit like golf, where your focus should not be on trying to win or trying to get round the course with the lowest score you possibly can, not focused on winning or not failing, but focused on hitting a clean shot, which requires which demands that you acquire a whole set of skills, which is a really interesting metaphor, or rather parallel to the dating dance skills. On the age point, there I was, guy in my 50s with an attractive 27-year-old girl. I'm still thinking that age is a problem. I think, and I want to talk more about that, because it's not quite that simple, but what I'm saying is purely the fact that you might have been 55 revolutions around the sun during your life doesn't automatically rule out, by any stretch of the imagination, honest to God, success with, quite frankly, girls that I think are too young for me. I'm looking for someone in their late 30s. And then I will do a final summary and wrap up. So this is like a 5-episode series, this being the first introductory episode. Strap on your balls, you bastards, and look forward to meeting you in the next vlog. That's from a really long, turning into what is, I would say, an Indian summer here in Warsaw. Au revoir, but not adieu.